Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my craft show or my craft channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. The last couple of videos that I put up have been cooking with Kathy, so this is we're back to doing some paper crafting. And if you caught the video that I had up earlier today, you will know that I told you we would be back this evening with a paper craft project. And this is what I have in mind. Now, this is not stamping up paper. This is something I did ages ago, but I found this in a box when I was going through some stuff, and I thought, I have not made this on my channel. And you might say, what is this? This is a little, I would call it a stocking stuffer. It's actually a little gift box that has in it some note cards. And what a wonderful time of the year to give someone a box of note cards. I'm going to make these all thank you cards because, you know, sometimes when you go to a party, you want to take a little thank you gift to the host or the hostess. And this is a great little gift for that. If you wanted to sit these at your, say you're having a Christmas party or a dinner party and you wanted to put these at the table setting for each person to have this little token to take home with them, then they would have thank you notes. This is not hard to make. It looks like it might be, but it's not. The cards inside are 3.5 by 3.5. So, and it will hold more than what I've got here. I could probably get at least 2 more in there. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think we could get 8 in there. But let me show you what we're going to start out with. We're going to start out with just a piece of basic white cardstock. And I would say for the outer portion of this, I would use the thick. The reason I would do that is because you want it to be substantial. You are going to layer it with some other pieces. But for starters, we are going to start out with, let me see if I can find my notes. We are going to start out with a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to cut this. I didn't measure where I was cutting it. We're going to cut it at 8 1/4 by 3 3/4. So 8 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this piece down. So I know it's going to be 8 1/4, so I'm going to go ahead and cut 1/4 inch off from my 8 1/2 inch side. So there's my trimmer at the top, and I'm lining it up on that 1/4 inch. And then I'm just going to give that a slice. That's taking off that 1/4 inch. So now we are good to go. So now all we have to do is turn this to the 11 inch side, and we can cut these off at 3 3/4. So on one line away from 4 inches, and slice that. You can probably get more than one out of here, but I'm going to use the leftover piece and show you how to build our little mechanism that's going to go in the middle. And for that piece, I've already cut a piece. So this piece is going to measure 3 inches by 5 3/4 inches. All of the measurements will be in the description box below. Click on blog and it will take you to the blog. You'll be able to print out a free PDF tutorial and you can get everything there that you need. So this is the piece that goes inside that actually holds our cards. This is what wraps around like that. And I'm going to show you how to do the middle here to give that little wraparound shape that we love so much. So, but what we want to do with this, before we get started any further, we're going to cut out a little bit out of these corners. So let's come up, and what we're going to do is we're going to take out this and this. So this whole piece from here to there and from there to there, we're just going to cut that away. And how we're going to do that is we're just going to come in, and I'm going to actually cut the score line away. So I'm cutting wherever the score line hits, I'm cutting either to the right or the left of it so that it takes it completely out, just like that. That gets rid of the bulk, and it just makes your project lay much better when you're fitting it in. And that's what your piece should look like. Then we're going to grab our bone folder, And we want to burnish all of our fold lines, and you've got that little 1/4 inch fold line. Make sure that you get that nice and straight, because that's what we're putting our box together with. It's almost like a little built-in binding strip, if you will. So turn that around like that. And this one like this. And then make sure we get that little one burnished down. Now I'm going to pull out my Simply Scored scoring tool. And the reason I like to use this is it makes it easier when I have to do multiple scoring. So when I have to do multiple scoring like I am on this one, we are going to start scoring at 3.5. So 3.5 is right here. And we're going to score all the way to 4.5. So it's going to be an inch of score lines through here. So 3.5, 3 3/4, 4, 4 1/4, and 4.5. Now that's going to give you that rounded edge that we want. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and burnish these down. And we're going to find some pretty paper, and I want to do this in something that is Christmassy, but yet not so Christmassy that we couldn't use it all year. But you can make this any color and any combination that you want. And you see how that just kind of rolls that around so it makes a nice little rounded piece. That is what you want there. Then your other, okay, so now that we have this piece completely prepped and ready to go in, you want to look at your two pieces. So if you measure from the last score line out, this side was going to be 3 3/4. And if you measure this, it's going to be about 3.5. So make sure your 3 3/4 inch side is the part that you're gluing this down on. So what we're going to do is we're going to butt it up right here. And I'm going to take a little bit of glue. I like to use my wet glue for this because I think it holds it and it catches really quick. Put a nice little bead of glue along there, and then butt this up to it so that your edges are even, just like this. And bend that over onto that side, just like that. And then you're going to do the same thing with this side and this side, and that's going to build your little box that your cards are going to go in. So let's lay some glue down on each one of these, just like that. And I like to do both of these at the same time. And all we're going to do is come up, line it up with that score line, but don't impede the score line. Just go right to it. It helps if you can get something underneath there just to kind of hold it. I'm going to take my bone folder and just press it with my bone folder. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to line this one up. So make sure it's squared up nice and square. And take your bone folder or a ruler, whatever you have that has a flat edge, and just push it into place. And there is our little pocket that holds our little set of cards. So you can see it's starting to come together. So the other thing that we want to do is we want to cover this with a pretty pattern paper. So I want just a tiny bit of the white to show. So we know that this piece is 8 1/4. So I'm going to do about 7 7/8. So let's write those down. Cover DSP 7 7/8 by 3 and let's do 3 1/4. So now, and I'm keeping this as a template. Y'all know I always like to do that, but I will have the template on the PDF that I'm going to put in on my blog. So make sure you go and check that out. You'll probably have to give me a few minutes after the video goes up in order to get everything typed up, the diagram made, and what have you. But it will be up no later than tomorrow. So I'm going to pause just for a second, and I'm going to go grab some pretty paper. Or I might be able to grab something right here. Look at this piece. That looks very festive, doesn't it? Is this long enough? And we know we're going to need it to be 7. I believe that will work. I think I'm going to go with this. It's beautiful. It's plaid. It does say Christmas, but it doesn't scream that you could only use it at Christmas. So we're going to do this piece. I just had it laying over here. And how cute is that? So we're going to cut this at 3 1/4. By 7 7/8. So I'm going to bring my arm out. So the great thing about this primer, you have an arm that stretches all the way out to 17 1/4 inches. So now 7 7/8. It's right there. So I just cut that off. This is going to be so cute. And I might even decorate this with a little Christmas tree or something. Wouldn't that be so stinking cute? So all we have to do now is glue this piece down onto our white. And you can see how easy that's going to be to put that on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Oh, look at that. That would even be cute too. Oh, how cute, how cute. Now I can't decide which side I want to use. I'm going to go with the plaid because that was my first inclination. So I am going to run some glue all up and down this piece. And this is a very fine bead of glue. I'm not soaking my paper. And then I am going to lay this out. I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to put this down right about there. That looks pretty good. And right across to here. Then I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to give it a good burnish. I'm going to use my bone folder and just get all in there and make sure, I forgot to do my ribbon. Okay, that's all right. We'll put the ribbon on a different way. But now we've gotten this going in the direction that we need it. I am going to grab a piece of, that's a little bit too dark. This one might move. Well, that'd be beautiful. We'll use a piece of this. This is a garden green. I think this is a retired ribbon, but any green ribbon that you might have. And just remember, you're going to need enough to lay here and have enough to tie. So I like to have, I don't know, let's say about 9 inches. You can always cut it off if it's too much. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to bring it up and over and bring it out to about the same amount. Once I get that measured, then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that ribbon. Now that we got the ribbon cut, now we don't have to worry about it. We can easily attach our ribbon to our piece. So just continue to rub and make sure your glue is in there. I'm gonna grab a die, and I think I want to do the Christmas trees, decorative trees. This was the die set that I really wanted. I really didn't want the stamp as much as I did the die, but I thought I would find the stamp set easier than the dies, which I did. So I want to take one of these little trees, and I'm thinking maybe this one, and cut it out of green, and maybe a circle or something behind it of red would be really pretty, and then run the ribbon through it. And then we could put a little Merry Christmas tag on this, and it will be absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to grab a piece of garden green, and I'm just going to grab a scrap. And you know what? I don't even have a scrap of garden green that's big enough to cut this tree out. So, which is a good thing because you know what? That means I've used my scraps. So what about this green? That would give us a sparkly little tree. I happen to have that out, so why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little piece off of here, and I'm going to use just a pair of scissors, and I'm going to trim off a small piece like this. Let's see what we come up with. I think that's going to be cute. So let's try that and see. So I'm going to take my little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, try it with the tiny one, and we are going to place this on a plate and put this one over it, and then we are going to crank this through. And because this is glimmer paper, I'm going to run it through twice, which will give me 4 passes. And the reason I'm doing that is because glimmer paper sometimes does not cut as well as cardstock. So pretty. Look at that. That would be pretty even if it was completely whole. But look what happens when you take it out. So pretty. I'm going to scrape these scraps into my trash can using my other plate. That's the easiest way to get those off, and it cleans them up just lickety-split. So just a little bit of a tip there for you. So if you are crafting and you get those on your plate rather than trying to pick them off, just use the other plate and let the plate do the work for you. So now we're going to pop these all out, all of these little pieces. Oh, it's so cute. I love that. So now I'm going to put my tree back in here so I don't lose it. That's always a good rule of thumb, is to put your plates back in. Look, there's all different trees. These were a little bit too big, though. So I love those dies. I think they're gorgeous. And what do we want to put behind here? Would a piece of red, a red oval, or just a piece of red would be beautiful on there. Let's see. I'm going to cut just a rectangle. Yeah, that right there would work. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this piece. That was a scrap. This just goes to show that you could actually make these little things using scraps, because so far the only piece of new cardstock that I cut into was my basic white to make the actual jacket. So think about that and look in your scrap bin and see what you have. And if you're like me, I love a scrap buster. Nothing makes me any happier than to be able to use up some scraps. So I'm going to take this, and now the strategic part of this, I think that's a little piece right there. Let me grab my ever trusty take your pick tool. Oops. And of course, I dropped the cap in the floor. I spend a lot of my crafting time picking up stuff that I drop. I'm sure y'all can relate. Oh, and the little piece came out by itself. I think I might have scared it out when I said I'm getting my take your pick tool. So I'm going to glue that on just like that. And to glue this on, I'm going to be very delicate, and I'm just going to hit it every here and there with some glue. Anywhere that I have a place that comes together and along the edges. like that. And then we are going to take this and sit it down just like that. Now that glue is going to dry clear, so don't fret over it. I like to take it and just use one of my cloths and do that. Just helps get the glue off so you don't have it puddling anywhere. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Love it. And look at the statement that makes on there. Do y'all love that? I think it's beautiful. Now this is where we're going to put our ribbon. We're going to take our ribbon in half, and I'm going to turn it over, and right where that middle score line is, which is right on that cross, I am going to put down the end of my ribbon there. And I am going to use some glue dots to adhere this into place. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm pulling it up on my finger, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm halfway with my ribbon. I'm going to set that right into the middle of the glue dot, just like that. And then the rest of it, you could actually put some tape on it if you wanted to hold it securely, which I think some Stampin' Seal will work really good here. And because I'm using the plaid paper, it's easy to see where we need it to be. So I'm going to come right down there and about to there. And then this side's going to be a little tricky because of the fact that we have the little slot for our cards back here. I'm going to bring this one all the way to the end. And then I'm going to lay this into that Stampin' Seal. And then this one is going to lay into the Stampin' Seal. That needs to come up just a hair. Just like that. And now all we have to do, and I think I want to do one other thing. I'm going to grab, I don't know if this is still relevant. I'm going to do this little corner punch. Hope I don't mess this up. Oh. So cute. And then I'm going to put this one in. Well, that one didn't do good. Let's slide it in like that. Much better. That just gives it a little decorative edge at the top, which I think is super cute. I can't remember if this punch, it's the Very Best Trio punch. I think it still is active in our catalog. I can check real quick. I used to love our catalog, and now since I changed everything, it's not in there anymore, and that makes me sad. But yeah, oh well. Any decorative punch that you have, and we all have bukus of stuff, so that would be beautiful on here. And I'm going to pop this up so it kind of stands out a bit. It almost needs something else behind it. I'm wondering if it needs a piece of white. Nah, overkill. I'm going with this because remember, you can make this any color, any way that you want. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I'm going to show you how to make one card to go in it, and then you can use your creative abilities and go ahead and decorate it any way that you see fit. But these are so much fun to make. They're easy, and you could actually just run through your dies and pick out different ornaments, different trees, ice skates, whatever you have, and put those on the front on a tag or whatever. And they're going to be so pretty. And whoever gets these, they're going to love them. They would be great as like a Secret Santa, little gift, maybe one for your hairdresser, your mailman. If you're like me, sometimes your Amazon driver. I don't know if y'all been shopping Amazon since the Black Friday sales, but of course we never get the same person twice or so it seems. But things like that, just a little thank you gift remembering you at Christmas, that goes a long ways. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this up and get some of the stuff out of my way. And then we're going to work on the card. There is the box itself. And I'm going to show you how cute the cards are going to be. So to make our cards, you can make them out of any color that you want. You need them to be 7 by 3. Let's see, where's the cards at? They are 7 by 3.5. So let's do 7 on this. Open this up. And I thought I would do red. 7. We can get a couple of cards out of this. The 3.5. Did I say 3.5? Do y'all do that? Yeah, 3.5. I figure measure twice, cut once. So 3.5. And then 3.5. That worked out just about perfect. And all I had wasted off that piece was this tiny little strip. So don't throw that away because it may come in handy. So then all you want to do is you want to put those into your scoreboard at 3.5. And give it a score. And 3.5. And give it a score. And then we are going to fold those in two. There's 2 cards to go in there, and all we need is some white for the inside, and we need the white to be 3 by 3, 3.25 by 3.25. So 3.25. And this is a great way to use up some scraps. 3.25. And then there is a mat for inside. And then grab another scrap of white that you have hanging around somewhere. And do 3.25. Like 3.25. And that'd be your inside mat for the other one. And then you could use some of these other little scraps that you've got here and there for a decorative piece on the outside. So this is going to go in here. There's 2 of our cards done. Now you can decorate the outside however you want to, but I find a lot of times just taking a simple shape, like your stylish shape, find a circle that works. You don't want anything that's too very big. And then just cut you out some pieces. You could do some squares if you'd rather do a square. So many different things that you can do with these. Let's see if that will fit. So let's do a square and a circle. I'm going to move some stuff from over here, and I'm going to get to my electronic cutting machine because I'm just going to run these through here so I don't have to move everything off my desk. And we are going to cut this out first. I need to cut this piece down. So I'm going to cut this one down to about there. I'll turn that one at an angle because I don't want it to hit in on the straight edge. It puts a lot of stress on your die cut machine when it does that. So let's turn it on and in we go. There's one. And now I'm going to do my circle. A lot of you asked me what electronic machine do I use. Stampin' Up! Does not carry an electronic machine, but I have the Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus, and I love it. It is so simple. It works on the same theory of the Stampin' Up! Machine. Um, you have a simple set of plates, and everything is so easy to use with it. And I absolutely love it. I have not had any problems. I'm still using the same plates that I had when I first got it, and I've had it for a while. So I love it for that reason. So now I want to find a Merry Christmas or a thank you. We're going to do thank yous with these. So I want to find a thank you for this. And look, you could even put this one on as at an angle and put thank you right there. So let me find a thank you. I may have to run into some other stamp sets. And here's one that says thank you for everything. This is the inspirational sketches. Grateful for you. So I'll tell you what, let's use those. Those are nice. We didn't have to look a long ways to find them either. So thankful for you. So I'm going to pick this one up on a block. And since we're working with Christmas colors, I'm going to use real red to tie in with the color of the cardstock. It's beautiful. Let's just go ahead and do both of them like this. And close my ink back up. So let's go ahead and put the inside in. This would be a great place to write a little handwritten note. I think the art of handwriting is going away so fast, and it's such a shame. I know for me, I always felt like that my handwriting was an extension of myself. So I'm going to put this on the front and see how cute that is. Very simple, but yet very, very pretty. And you could switch these up between green and red. You could even do some blues. Whatever colors that you like or you think the recipient would like would be absolutely perfect. So there's one of our cards. Let's go ahead and get the inside of this one in. And if you don't want to do a handwritten note, you could always stamp. If you had a stamp set that had a sentiment on it that you were trying to convey, that would be perfect. And put that in here. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to run some glue on the back. And then I'm going to put this here and here, making sure my points are top and bottom, left to right. And there is 2 of our little cards to go inside of our little jacket. And like I said, you can fill this as full as you want. I believe it will hold eight cards. You could even go as far if you have an envelope maker, make some envelopes using your envelope maker and stick in there with them so they would have an envelope. But a lot of times little cards like this are things that you just hand someone or you tie it on a gift, something like that. So tie this into a pretty bow, like that. And there is your little gift card holder. And if you got this packed nice and tight, they won't fall out. That's why I said you got room enough in there for quite a few more. And isn't that so cute, so festive, and was so easy to make? So I hope that you will take heart in this and that it might be something that you would enjoy making. If you do make them, I'd love to see them over on our Facebook group, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. So go join. The link for that is below the video as well. And I hope to see you all again real soon. I love you guys. I hope that you are enjoying this month between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And all I can say is Merry Christmas to everyone. And I just love you guys, and I cannot express to you enough how much your dedication means to me. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. Until next time, bye.